Welcome everybody this morning to the joint launch of the PRII PRCA Membership Assistance Programme. We're joined this morning by Michael Garrow from Spectrum Life, who are the service providers. He's going to take us through all of the detail of what exactly is contained in the programme, the services and advices that are available, and how to access them. And later on, we'll also have a few words from Mario Leary, Chair of the PRCA and President of the PRII, Pádraic McKeown. But before we're joined by our panel, I just want to take a moment to talk about the why of this particular programme and why we're particularly delighted to be launching it for you. It was John Lennon actually writing a song about the birth of his son, Sean, who used the expression that life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. And I think we've all had experience of that. Now, the PRII and the PRCA, you might think, well, we're here to support you in your professional life. And yes, we very much are. But we can't separate the professional from the personal. And if you're going through a difficult time in your own personal life or your family, relatives, friends, it can be extraordinarily difficult to focus on the work in hand. So we want to help out there too. And we're able to do that because of the existence of something called the PRCA PRII Benevolent Fund. Now this was set up very presciently back in the early 1990s, and it's funded by a small percentage from the membership fees of each of the bodies, the association and the institute. Now, we've been thinking about using that fund in order to support members in this particular way in terms of health and well-being, as well as other advices for some time. In fact, back in last year, we started to make moves to change some of the wording in the PRII constitution at our AGM in January to allow us to access the fund for this particular type of membership assistance programme. So it's been in the thinking a long time, but we're all agreed that we're delighted that particularly now, in these days when certainly life is throwing a lot at us from all sorts of directions, very unexpectedly in many ways, that we have this service live and on offer from today. It's a very equitable way in which we can use the Benevolent Fund to support each and every member of the PRII and each and every employee of the PRCA member agencies. Now, Michael will go through a lot of detail about how to access it, and I can tell you that as of a few moments ago, we have a web page on both the PRII and the PRCA websites, which will guide you through the process and give you lots more information. And we have guidebooks and PowerPoints and such there to give you lots and lots of detail. So you may never need to use the Membership Assistance Programme. I hope that you don't. But like a good friend, it'll be there if you do need it. And it will provide you with some advices that will help, we hope, to lift the load and let you get on and get the most out of life. I want to particularly thank this morning the National Council of the Public Relations Institute of Ireland, under leadership from Pádraic McKeown, and the board of the PRCA under the leadership of Mario Leary, who supported the executive in bringing this programme together and in enabling us to work through all of the governance that had to be put in place behind the scenes to make this happen. I want to thank our own team as well. I mentioned governance, and our finance manager, Anya Sheehan, was really helpful in sorting all of that out and in the management and governance of the trust fund. I want to thank Tom Hardy and Dulloch Glynn, who did the work on the websites, Frank here supporting me today in terms of this presentation. And I want to thank you for coming along, and I hope that you'll take away lots of information, and I hope that you'll spread the message to your friends and colleagues who are members of both bodies, that the map is up and running, and we hope you'll find a lot of supports from it long after COVID has left these shores. So I'm going to hand over now to Mary O'Leary, Chairperson of the PRCA, to say a few words.
Thank you, Martina. Well, as the chair of the PRCA, it's the association which represents 30 agencies that collectively employ over 500 people. I really welcome this member assistance programme initiative. The launch is very timely because the industry research that the PRCA conducts in collaboration with MORC every 2 years was released last week. And the latest research shows that over a quarter of PRCA managing directors regard employees' mental health as critically important, with the remaining 3/4 regarding it as important. I think the recent changes that we've all experienced in work patterns with so many people working remotely and our teams connected by Zoom, Microsoft Teams, or continuous threads of emails, coupled with the pressures and challenges that COVID-19 has also brought to our own personal lives. By having this member assistance programme in place, everyone across our companies will have the support to deal with their individual situations. I really encourage everyone in our PRCA member agencies to check out the information on the PRCA website and know what is there and how PRCA MAP can help you to help yourself. And I would ask PRCA employers to circulate the information to their teams and display the MAP posters in all common areas. It's for everybody's good. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Over to Pádraig McEwen.
Morning, everybody, and I'm delighted to be here to launch. I think it's probably one of the most significant things we've done in the Public Relations Institute in many a day. Look, as Martina said, this conversation started back in 2019, and so it's very much not a COVID response. It's actually looking at how we could support the individual member. And if you recall, we did some very significant benchmark research in 2019, which began to explore for the first time, perhaps the overlap between people's lives and their work, their personal lives and their work. And it began to look at the whole area of work-life balance, which anybody working in the sector will have known about for some time. But there are other issues as well. There are the issues of just stress generally, how people deal with stress. There's the whole area of, as families change, I know from personal experience, the experience of parenting, but also looking after elders and how that goes. There's people's general health, and we're a young industry, and younger people aren't necessarily always great at seeking medical support, particularly men, and that's something to be aware of. There's the challenges of diversity in the workplace and how it impacts on individuals and how they deal with it. And then there's also the impact of technology. It's omnipresence, the whole area of privacy, and how do people take support in terms of developing their careers, particularly if they're in what I might call an intimate work environment, where their particular work is very tied into a small number of people, but they want to consider their development beyond that. So where do they get support for those kind of things? So we wanted to put in place something professional for them to turn to. And what's happened this year is COVID has accelerated everything. All of these trends are there, but they're happening much more quickly. And when all of this has gone away, all those things will still there, and people will need those concerns to be held and managed and cared for and look after themselves. So this summer, we have seen a change in the amount of work, the pressure of work, and still a great uncertainty behind it. So I think this initiative could not come at a better time. Even though it's long planned, its timing is really is perfect. So I commend Martina and her team. They've done an excellent job in bringing it forward. I think it would be of benefit to all members, and I think it is a significant benefit of membership, and I think it's something that we should be sharing with others outside our community to get them to join the PRI, because I think by being members of the PRI now, you certainly have an advantage in your career through the existence of this professional support program. Thanks, Martina, and thank you to all the team, and I look forward to Michael's presentation.
Thank you, Pádraig, and I'm going to hand over now to Michael Garrow. Just before I do, a quick shout out to Aisling Waters, Michael's colleague, who has been supporting us as well in terms of all of the detail behind the MAP programme. Over to you, Michael.
Thank you, Martina. Thank you, guys. And we're, on behalf of Spectrum Life, we're delighted to be offering this membership assistance program to support both PRCA member agencies and PRI members. So what I'll do here shortly in the next 10 minutes or so is just to go through an in-depth presentation to really give you a full understanding of the service provided, how to access, and some of the different streams that we have available for you. So we'll kick it off here, and just in terms of what the MAP program is, it's really to to put it in simple terms, a confidential short-term counseling service that's providing support. And we'll dive into now just how that is. So the MAP program, it's available 24/7, 365. And what this is providing you to is immediate access to counseling support to help you cope and deal more effectively, like we were saying, any personal or work-related problems. So how you could access this is through a telephone support line. And this is a free phone line set up in Ireland. And you could also access this map through an online portal, which is quite unique. So I'll show some of the features there. And in that portal, you could request a callback or go through a live chat feature. So this kind of breaks it down in terms of just having that one telephone line. We're giving you a few different options in terms of really what works for you and in terms of how you want to access this service. So when we look at the map, really it covers a quite holistic range of different areas from counseling perspective, but it's kind of broken off into two different areas. So one would be kind of your stress, anxiety, mood, any relationship issues that you might be having. And that's provided in more of a counseling-led service. So that would be a model of 6 sessions that we have for you. And then based on, kind of more of the personal related issues, we also cover things that are less out of the counseling, more in towards, those personal aspects. So we're looking at financial worries, questions on legality issues, looking at career planning. We also have those counseling services for you set up. So I'll go through the different modules and how that would be set up for you. But when you think of, what you could access and how this MAP program could work for you, really it's covering quite a holistic range of services. So just in terms of the confidentiality aspect of this, so it's completely free and 100% confidential. So your name and personal information will never be shared. So who could contact the MAP service? It's really open to all employees of the PRCA member agencies and all PRII members. So the way this will work is when you call or you use the live chat feature, all you're needing to do is confirm that you are an employee of the PRCA member agency or PRII member, so the team really knows that you're eligible for this service. The only way that you would then need to verify your name is if you go into the advanced counseling. So once you've had that first phone call and you're looking for additional counseling, then we'll just do a second layer of confirmation. So who do you speak to on this first call or in the live chat? We have a team based here in Dublin, fully qualified and experienced counselors who could offer this immediate telephone support. So each and every MAP case is handled by one of our counselors who then become your dedicated case manager. Okay, so on that initial call, your case manager collects your details, discusses any of those issues you're facing, and it goes through a quick assessment, taking about 30 minutes. But then from there, what we're able to do is really match you with the appropriate service provider in your area. So this counseling session could be done face-to-face, over video, or telephone, really depending on what suits you best. The short-term counseling, so how this works, what we have is a session of 6 sessions of counseling. So our team is kind of based throughout the country. And if you're looking for that face-to-face counseling, we could normally find a counselor within 30 miles of your work or home. So our counselors, again, have a wide range of clinical specialties. So really whatever the issue is that you're looking for, we're able to pair and make that perfect match for you. And if you require multilingual services, we have about a dozen different languages that we're able to cover. In terms of turnaround time, so once you have that first initial phone call, your counselor will then contact you within 48 hours. So this, again, is your bespoke counselor and case manager that you'll be working with. And that first appointment will happen within 5 working days. So when we look at when you're actually in that counseling session, we've, over the last few months, obviously have seen a sharp increase towards video-based counseling, but it's always nice, especially with the form of counseling that we provide, is to have that face-to-face. So if that is something that you require, we could 100% provide that. But I think video counseling, you know, it's quite nice being in the comfort of your own home, and we're seeing, again, high engagement with this. And you know, how we provide this is through a secure health platform where you're able to go in, connect with your counselor, and really have that fruitful conversation. So this all happens within the online platform. But again, it's really up to you. So you work with your case manager to see what works best. But in terms of how we provide it, again, it's face-to-face, telephone, or video. So looking at our online portal now, so the online portal really takes more of a preventative approach towards mental health, stress, anxiety, and we've built out hundreds of hours of content onto this platform, reviewed by our certified counselors and psychologists that we would have on staff. And this is on-demand content for you. So you're able to access the online portal, and I'll walk you through how to actually access that shortly. But again, on here, you're able to see self-help resources, e-learning modules, different blogs and articles around well-being, any on-demand webinars that we're launching, and then actually how to engage with the counselors. So again, we have that live chat feature, and taking more of that holistic wellness approach, you're going to have access to homework videos, some food recipes, and advice on sleep, mental well-being, and really much more content that's updated quarterly. So going beyond the counseling, so as we were saying, so you have your basic kind of your stress, anxiety, relationship advice, but we also provide more practical kind of day-to-day issues that you're able to access. So this includes financial advice, looking at advice around legal issues, life coaching. We can connect you in with allied health professionals. So that includes our team of physios, dietetics, parenting experts, and then really, you know, in terms of now looking at return to work, and especially the children return to school, we have a lot of practical advice around childcare, and then as well on the other scope, elder care as well. So above that, again, you're able to just connect in. Once you speak with your case manager, you can let them know at the area that you'd like to get this expertise in, and they'll connect you in with either the telephone or video consultation or face-to-face, however you'd like to access that. But this kind of shows the different areas in that holistic approach that we take towards counseling. So these are just some ideas that you could kind of take a look at in terms of what we would see in terms of financial support or legality, tenancy support. So whether it's looking at credit card advice, you know, saving up for retirement, and then in terms of legal tenancy, so looking at mobile phone carriers, and even landlord advice, things like that. So really, whatever it is that you're looking for, we could certainly help on both areas, and we have that robust team of experts through our service providers that could help you there. So now just quickly, I want to walk you through how to actually access this service for both PRCA and PRII members. So starting with the PRCA member journey, yeah, as Martina was mentioning, you'll have a specific landing page on the website there shortly where you could access this. You will find the mobile phone number and link to the Spectrum Life portal. When you ring that phone number, you'll hear, it's a dedicated phone line for you, and you'll hear an automated recording just to let them know that this is the line that you've contacted. And then a counselor will answer that in the moment support. So again, the cross-check affiliation, just we need to verify that you are within the PRCA, and then from there, the counseling will begin. Okay, so we'll then look at PRII. So the PRII member journey is quite similar, but you're going to be logging into the PRI member portal. There you will find the EAP phone, the MAP phone number and link to the Spectrum Life portal. Again, when you ring that phone line, you will have your own dedicated phone counselings to understand that this is the phone number that you've called, and just to verify, again, the counsellor will do a quick cross-check and you'll begin your counselling. So again, just to quickly wrap up here, this service is available 24/7, 365, completely free and 100% confidential. I've highlighted the numbers there for both PRCA, PRII, but those will be up and live again on each respective platform. And then through the online portal, you'll access through the link that's provided, and we will also be providing you with a organization code that'll gain you access. Okay, so we'll wrap it up there. And again, we are thrilled to be serving this member assistance program to both PRCA and PRI members. And again, if there's any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat box now, or we can provide it a little.
Okay, thank you very much, Michael. As you can see, there's a lot of information in that short presentation. The important thing to remember is the access routes for the two organizations, albeit different. The service that's provided is similar for both organizations. And just to say, for PRII people, if you go onto the PRII website, log in as a member in the members area, you'll see in the resources section a tab that says PRII map, and there's lots of information about service, the program, how and where to access on that page. If you're an employee of a PRCA member organization, you go onto the PRCA homepage, the website homepage, you'll see the tab about the PRCA, and there you'll see a drop-down bar which takes you into a similar package of information about all of the information that Michael has covered today and some more, as well as the routes of access. So it's always going to be there, as Michael says, 24/7, 365 days of the year. And if you have any questions on those access points, contact us at the executive at 84 Marion Square. Drop us an email at info@prii.ie or an info@prca.ie. And we'll publish reminders from time to time in the weekly e-zine as well, just to remind people that the two membership assistance programs are up and running as of today. So do we have any questions or comments, Frank, coming in on the chat?
Just a couple of people asking about the presentation and the notes which popped in there. They'll be available on the respective pages. This morning we've recorded Michael's presentation, but also the slides are available there with various other information resources on the program. So as you said, PRI members can go through via the PRI MAP tab in the resources section, and then employees of PRCA member companies through the PRCA website there. But no one as yet. If anyone does have any questions, pop them into the chat. You can either do it privately or more generally, and we can cover those.
And just to say, there's nothing in Michael's presentation that isn't already live on both websites as of 11 o'clock today. But when we get a chance, we'll upload Michael's PowerPoint as well. So I'm just seeing some comments coming in there. Thank you all. There's some really nice comments, and indeed over the last few weeks since we talked about the launch date and gave people an idea of what the MAP service would be like, you know, we've got some really positive and appreciative comments. So thank you all for taking the time to do that, because at the end of the day, whether there is a MAP service out there or not, you know what, the best support we have is each other. And we really have to look out for each other, and never more so than now. I hope that you got some comfort from knowing the service is there. Do use it if you need it, and look out for each other and be kind, be nice.